here's another lesson, continuing with Arduino. I'm going to try and keep this lesson under 10 minutes because I'm having issues with my recorder. Hence, I can only record videos under 10 minutes. So this is going to be a fast-paced one, but I hope you get to understand it. Please, if you don't, kindly just send me a message and I would help you somewhat. So originally, we are supposed to cover ultrasonic sensor, temperature sensor, humidity sensor, sound sensor, motion sensor. But for some reasons, I'm skipping. I'm skipping the rest of lesson 5 and I'm going to lesson 6. Reading digital values, reading analog values, introducing if and else statement. At this point in our lesson, I think that we are familiar with a lot of things. So I'll no longer be doing a direct connection while teaching, but I'll everything will be done already. I've done all the circuits. I'll just explain what you should do, how you should do it, and all that. Okay, I believe that is fine. Once again, if you have any issues, just any questions, just send me a message. So we are starting from digital signal. Now we want to know how to read digital signal. For example, if you're not in your house and it's light off in your house, you want to know, are the lights off or on? You should be able to read that digital signal. That's on or off, 1, 0, white, black. These are digital signals. And to be able to read this digital signal, we are going to use our push button. Basically, it's connecting the flow of the current to a certain pin and making that pin an input so that if there's current flowing through it, you get 1. If there's no current, you get 0. That's basically how it is. Once again, I always say that it's important that the student knows the source of the source. So try to get the student to like reading documentation. So you type digital read. That's the command for reading digital read, and it will take you to type it in Google. Let him search for the Arduino documentation, and it will bring you somewhere here where you should be able to see, maybe not exactly this, but you get an idea on what digital read means. The same for analog read. We type analog read, look for the Arduino.cc documentation, and it will give you an idea. It explains how analog read works. This is important because we will not teach the student everything, and he or she needs to know how to find what he or she needs. That is very important. So we'll do that for if statements as well when you get there. So starting from digital read, also take note that at this point, everything your student is doing is syntax. We only use the code blocks when we want to emphasize on the circuit and not really think about the code. So we can use code blocks just to get it done fast. But right now we are focusing on the code and on the circuit. This circuit is basic, just like what we did with the push button. We've connected the circuit with a resistor, and all we've done is that instead of an LED or something, so that when we press the LED will turn on, this time we've connected it to pin 4. Sorry for that. We've connected to pin 4 so that when we press it, you see, and also I put a delay and ready. So serial dot begin to start the serial port. Pin mode, remember pin 4 is now an input, so this will be an input. So when we come to void loop, we've just created a variable called button state. What's the state of the button? And we are saying that the state of the button should be the digital reading of pin 4. Then serial.print the state of the button, so that prints the digital read basically. So if I don't want to use variables, I'll just put this whole digital read, then I'll just put it in this and I'll still be fine, but I introduced a variable. So you have your student write this code and understand it as well. We are using a delay of 1000 just so that the values are printed in a way that we can see. So you can see 0. So if I'm somewhere, let's say I'm using internet connection somewhere and I can get my results in my office, I'll see that, oh, the lights are off, and once the light comes on, you see the signal turns to 1. This is because I'm pushing the push button. Basically, once I leave it, it goes back to 0. So in this day, we are reading digital values. That's it. Then the next thing you guys will do is you go to analog values. So to read analog values, we need to create values that kind of like can transition. So we are using the potentiometer, but we know that the potentiometer creates analog signals. So that's what we use. Remember, that's what we use to increase and decrease the amount of light flowing, because there's a resistive substance in it. So we this is a similar circuit, but apart from that, we are going to also, the pin that controls the LED, we are connecting that pin to A0. Remember, we are using the analog ports because it's an analog signal. So we are connecting it to A0. You don't really need to connect this. You don't really need the LED resistor and it's connecting to an LED, but I'm just using this as a control measure, you get me? So that if there's something wrong with the circuit, I can tell by the LED not working, you get me? So let's make this signal also, this is analog, let's keep it 100. Let me clear. Now it's a very similar thing. It's a very similar thing that we wrote. See how to begin pin mode. The A0 is an input, it's not an output. And so I created a variable called level, you get me? And this level should be the analog reading of what A0, zero out of print line prints that reading that A0 is getting. So basically, if I run the code, you see as I alter the level, right, you can see that the values also are changed as I the values increase here. So you can see the light turns on and dims as I go. So over here we are reading, we are getting analog values. You can make this 1000 just so that the values are easier to see, comprehend, and all that. So yeah, so we have that. I should increase, you can see. So I'm reading the analog value of the potentiometer, hence of the light also, so I can tell the level of the light, right? Yeah. So if you have analog readings of anything, you can remotely get the values of those things. Okay, you can remotely get the values of those. Let's say you want to be knowing the temperature in your room or something. These are analog values. Let's say you want to be knowing how much sunlight is. These are analog values, and in the near future we'll do Internet of Things, how to remotely control things, how to remotely control lights and all those things via the internet, when you are not there. So this code is almost like the initial code. Now we come to if statement. So you're going to do the same thing with this one. We come to if statements. Are we doing if statement here? Yeah, we come to if statement. To do if statement, we are just going to use this simple connection. So have your student do this connection. We are all familiar with this connection. Basically, this connection allows us to read the this allows us to read. Okay, we're not doing if statements here. Over here, we are still reading analog value. This allows us to read the analog value of this. So allow your student to do this. Let your student do this thing, this connection of the LDR, which we've already done. But this time he's doing it in syntax, basically. So is once again is similar to just reading analog values. As you change the amount of light, will get different readings. So that's it. Your resistance, you can use 10k, 1k. Depending on your resistance, your values would vary, but you still get change in analog value. Now we are going to do an introduction to if else. To do that, basically you will do the same circuit that you did, but this time you're going to write an if code in it. So the same circuit, but this time do an LED and connect the LED to a pin, and then you add this if statement code, basically. So always check the documentation for the if statement.